In all fairness, some people will never learn. Some people are so diehard conspiracy theorists, they simply jump from one conspiracy belief to another. It's a lot more easily done than changing religion. You change religion, you've got to take on a whole bunch of different priorities. Although many people do switch between different versions of Christianity or change their philosophy as far as whatever other religion they belong to. But changing across religion is very hard, or at least it can be. Changing from radically different sects or schools of thought can be quite difficult, of course. It can be very difficult, same as sects, sects or school of thought. But people simply changing their view on conspiracy theories, how far that goes. Hey, are there really alien reptilians, or is it interdimensional reptilians, or is it simply demons, or is it simply this, simply that? People mix and match, people borrow from here, borrow from there. People take certain ideas on board and sometimes they throw some away, or they end up coming back to them, or they just simply put them to the back of their mind. There could be something to this, but I'm going to put it to the back of my mind because I'm focusing on something to do with COVID or 9/11 or JFK or whatever other cliche argument position is out there at the moment regarding conspiracy theories. And it's easily done because I used to be a conspiracy theorist at one point, which probably doesn't interest anyone, but it was very easy to go from as a gateway drug, in a manner of speaking, the kind of softer conspiracy theories that were like, maybe something different did happen, maybe. There's a lot of coincidences, there's a lot of this, a lot of that, and that's what they do. They very often build coincidences. And it's only later on, after you get into that kind of world and you listen to different views, you realise how much more there is really going on. Or there seems to be going on, I should say, how much actually seems to be the case. And you can go from a relatively well-grounded kind of doubt, which you think is skepticism, you might think is skepticism, and in actuality it isn't. It's believing a whole bunch of nonsense. You think you're being skeptical about, say, 9/11, and you might consider yourself to be a truther, and not just simply a conspiracy theorist. You think there's too many coincidences, perhaps certain things were done wrong, certain lies were in place, and blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, you're accepting all sorts of radical claims made by conspiracy theorists. Because, hey, they've tried something similar before. There was a plan from the 60s which was planning false flag operations as an excuse to invade Cuba. So maybe 9/11, blah, 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 blah. There's a whole bunch of things like that where it goes way too far. And that's the problem. Someone said they saw something and just flew across. It looked almost like a missile. But was it a missile? Someone said they saw a light plane. Okay. And another person claimed they saw a passenger jet. So what actually hit, the Pentagon, with 9/11? It's ridiculous. It gets silly because you end up with all these reports. It's like, who originally said that? So someone said they thought they saw, said they thought they saw this, and then you put it together and say, there's confirmed reports, and there's a report in Operation Northwoods in the 1960s as an excuse to go into Cuba. It's very often like that. It's easy enough to get involved in that kind of world and read a lot of things and believe that you're actually an informed person, when in actuality you've just simply got a whole collection of, untrue perspectives, I suppose would be a way of describing it. Things that aren't actually correct, but they seem to be quite compelling in some ways.